What you are seeing is old coolant coming from a car's radiator. I know, it looks disgusting. And in this video, I'm gonna show you how this mud-like fluid was completely taken out and replaced with brand new coolant by this special machine. All in less than 30 minutes. Let's go! For most of us, including myself, when it comes to replacing our coolant, we normally begin by pouring some kind of additive into our car's radiator. In my case, it's this 300 milliliter bottle of Impact Rust and Scale Remover. Next, we let the engine run idle at least 15 minutes after it has reached its normal operating temperature. Then, we stop the engine. Unscrew a drain plug, usually located at the bottom corner of our radiator, and let gravity pull most of the liquid out. Then, we screw the drain plug back in so we can finally pour brand new coolant into the radiator. Now, there are three problems with this method. 1. The radiator drain plug, also known as a drain valve or a petcock, is not easily accessible, or has become so brittle you are likely to break it off when you twist it. And in some vehicles, there's no drain plug at all. 2. While gravity can pull most of the dirty liquid out, it doesn't really drain all of it, especially stubborn rust and solid particles. And 3. The plastic tanks on modern radiators can get brittle and crack if you apply twisting stress to the drain valve. Why risk damaging a perfectly good radiator? So today, I decided to try a different method that is, in my opinion, better, safer, and faster. If you're using a concentrated coolant or antifreeze, part of the preparation is diluting it with water in one of these tanks. But we'll come back to this after the super flush procedure. Note that at this point, the rust and scale remover additive I showed earlier, along with whatever contaminants and particles it has broken down, is still inside the cooling system of my 2001 Kia Carnival. But unlike the conventional method of pulling out the petcock from the bottom of the radiator to drain everything out, the upper hose, which is usually the radiator inlet hose, is instead detached and connected with an adapter. Then, another adapter is connected to the pipe where the inlet hose was detached from. Later, an inlet hose will be attached to the side where pressurized water will be introduced from the flush machine. And a drain hose will be attached to this side where all the dirty fluid from the entire cooling system will be flushed out. First, we need to introduce pressurized air into the machine. Once enough pressure is built up inside the machine, time to switch it on and watch the magic happen. Now, let's see the initial result at the other end of our drain hose. So if we lift this hose, you can see nothing much. This is not the kind of result we are expecting. This should not be just a trickle. Something is clearly wrong. Okay, so upon closer inspection, it turns out that the hoses were accidentally interchanged, which is restricting the flow of pressurized water. After a quick switch, the pressure inlet hose is now connected to the pipe, and the drain hose is connected to the radiator inlet hose. And you can easily tell we have the right connection this time, because the drain hose is twitching with all that unrestricted pressure escaping the system. Honestly, I've never been so happy to see this much dirty liquid, because I know that all the old coolant, rust, gunk, and all other contaminants are being super flushed not just from the radiator core, but from the entire cooling system. And I will say that using the old procedure, which relies on gravity alone, will never come close to this kind of result. And we're just starting. So the goal is to let the machine continuously pump in clean pressurized water until the fluid coming out of our drain hose becomes clearer and clearer, bucket after bucket. By the way, I had my coolant flushed and replaced by Relay Impact Motors Incorporated Car Care Center. and I've included their contact details in the video description below. I just wanted to say that nowadays, most car care centers use coolant or antifreeze cleaner and changer machines as part of their services, unlike a decade ago when such services were a novelty and customers were charged an absurd premium fee. Today, coolant cleaning and changing services can range from 1,500 pesos to 4,500, depending on the size of your radiator, the make and model of your vehicle, and what kind of coolant and additives you want. Also, some centers include the coolant and additive as part of their service package, while others allow you to buy or bring your own. So keep these variables in mind if you are considering this option. In my opinion, I get two valuable things out of this method. The peace of mind I get knowing that my entire cooling system is super clean, which will make it last more years, and the amount of time I save, which allows me to do other important stuff. If your cooling system comes with a reserve tank or an expansion tank, this would also be the best opportunity to clean it. My fuel pump is in the way, so we had to remove it first before we could unmount my expansion tank. And look how much dirty coolant and rust are trapped in here. This tank is easily cleaned with dishwashing liquid and water. After about 10 minutes, our drained water has turned from murky to clear. We can now switch off the machine and disconnect its hoses and adapters. Now, it's time to reinstall everything back and slowly introduce our brand new coolant solution through the radiator pressure cap until full. And let's not forget to reinstall the expansion tank and fill it with coolant up to the right level. From the moment I ran my engine idle for 15 minutes with the rust and scale remover additive to the time everything was put back in place and filled with the right coolant level, the entire procedure took about 28 minutes. And that is relatively quicker and more effective than doing it the old way with an old thinking. Speaking of old thinking, right after the procedure, my old thinking was challenged by a mobile merchant who was selling his own brand of coolant that was imported all the way from Japan. With a simple procedure, he had demonstrated how the coolant we just used in this video and other popular coolants we have been putting inside our radiators were actually ripping us off. Then, he had us test his own brand and we were all blown away with the results. If you are interested in watching that controversial video, click on the upper right corner of this video, or if you don't see it, click the link in the video description below. But I'm giving you fair warning, that video along with my other secret videos are only accessible by specific members of this channel, so click the join button if you are interested. In any case, this is HanDIYman 007 and thanks for watching this video.